Evet değerli izleyicilerimiz, yavaş yavaş sona doğru geliyoruz. Şimdi yurt dışından yeni bir konuğumuz var. Vinicius Oliveira bizimle olacak. Biraz yapay zeka ve çeviklik konuşacağız, agility konuşacağız. Vinicius Oliveira AI Collaboration'ın başkan yardımcısı, satış ve pazarlamaya bakıyor. Vinicius, welcome to our stage. Did you hear me?
Yes, how are you? Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine.
Morning for me. How
Yeah. Good afternoon for us. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, exactly. If your presentation ready, and the stage is yours.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. I will project now. Well, thank you for receiving me here. My name is Vinicius. I'm from AI Collaborator. I've been here for some months now. And AI Collaborator, we are all about solving for important resources at this time. Data science and AI resources to keep enterprises in the pace that they need to solve for AI. Today, we're going to talk about a very specific and very important theme for us, which is AI agility, and how companies should be looking for navigating all this hype around AI and resources-wise. How do you solve for this in such a challenging environment, right? Well, I'm going to begin my presentation talking about how AI became unavoidable last year, right? So we had a lot going on, a lot around generative AI, as you know, but a lot about AI in general. We really have ChatGPT opening the doors for the common people that don't even really know how a machine learning algorithm work to interact with AI and get productivity, get great insights from it, right? So we had news from ChatGPT, Microsoft investment, also Google competing a lot in this space, Stable Diffusion. I mean, all sorts of different AI, especially generative AI, going on. But something that is also this is great. This is great because not only for the industry but really for humanity, that we can. I mean, that AI is evolving because it's all about extending our capabilities, right? But when you look to the effectiveness and the failure rate of AI projects, they are still pretty high. Definitely, enterprises that are investing much more in deploying and scaling applications within their organizations, not only piloting or doing proof of concepts. That was what we were seeing a couple of years ago, and until a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, before the pandemic, we were seeing much more big companies scaling AI solutions and other enterprises more experimenting, which is still very important, right? But the thing is that the failure rate of
Vinicius, your mic is off. Please turn it on.
Can you see now?
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, because okay. Let me know if it goes down again, please. Sorry. So what I was talking about is the failure projects. The hate is too high, and I was talking about a little about the hype cycle curve. You can see that in 2018, you don't even have generative AI as something mapped here. Okay, even though you already have general artificial intelligence there being mapped for more than 10 years to the okay, but you don't even have generative AI. It is mapped on 2021. It scaled really fast in terms of the expectations on the hype cycle. All right, but it's only in 2023 that it hit its peak. It was quite fast, so that shows that this happened to generative AI, and it will happen to other AI technologies that are surfacing. And it's sometimes tough to be ahead of the curve because things happen so fast. All right, you can see other important trends here. I'm going to focus on generative AI because it's at the peak of the hype right now, the peak of the discussion. But this is something that organizations, enterprises, and people solving for AI need to be keep an eye open of how things are evolving and how we are having a hard time even to map the next 2 years technologies that are going to surface and impact our environment, right? So I always follow Foundry. Foundry is a very good source of information, and it's very interesting how this research with C-level people showed with more than 300 CEOs from USA how they are positioned themselves, and almost 90% of them have started generative AI pilot products or have products on the way. And when we talk about generative AI, it's a very broad term as well. We need to discuss also the use cases that comes with generative AI, right? Because there are multiple, they are becoming even more common. And also you can look at this research as well and showing that the intention to spend in AI is pretty big. So everybody is looking for the same resources. Not only sorry. Not only generative AI experts, would say NLP experts, but also all kind of resources, right? So this is very important because were already having a shortage of resources back then, and now this shortage of resources is going to keep growing, and it's going to be even tougher, even harder for enterprises, for companies to reach out to the correct resources that they need to keep building AI into the organizations, right? Well, the C-level pressure is really mounting, and what we are seeing that even inside big enterprises that have full data science, data engineering teams, they are still having trouble to deploy efficiently AI. Okay, and this is why we come and we created this term AI desert, because it's actually what happens, especially when you have so many other organizations like marketing, HR, accounting. They are not core organization of the enterprise, but they want to start experimenting. They already understand the value. They are non-technical person usually, but they understand the value that AI can generate, but they have a hard time in both defining the use cases that they want and also solving for these use cases with internal resources because they are limited. So they get isolated from the core business. They get all the attention, all the data scientists and then data engineering to build the main features around the product, and they get isolated from it, and this is what we call AI deserts. And it's a situation out there. We're seeing a lot of silos of organizations that are not getting access to AI resources right now. So, and then they are going to fall behind. In the organization, the entire organization is going to fall behind, because AI is something that needs to be adopted by all parts of the enterprises, right? So we have this term that is called AI deserts, and we really think that gets us thinking: how can we solve for this, right? How can we solve for how enterprises solve for AI? Also, some numbers are here. Some numbers here is about generative AI and the impact, and how we need to look at it as something different right now, as something that is happening, and that's being very important in terms of the resources, having the resources available. ChatGPT was the fastest growing application ever. IT leaders are really looking to prioritize generative AI, and more than 80% of those that think that generative AI is overhyped, they still believe in the potential impact. As you know, the hype curve technology takes little time for us to see the real use of it and pass for all the frustration that we thought that it would be. But there's still a lot of investment to do. But it also leaves many questions unanswered regarding security risks, intellectual property, explainability, organizational impact. So we are learning all of this. We are learning why we are developing. We are learning why we're deploying technology. We are learning while we are experimenting. And if you don't have the right resources, we won't be able to answer the right questions. All those questions that remain unanswered. And if you don't have the right resources, you only not only going to be able to deploy efficiently the technology, but you will also won't be able to answer for the important things that you need to really scale the technology within the organizations. Okay, and this is why we have this term, AI agility, which is organization's ability to quickly adapt to meet internal AI capacity demands for its business priority. AI agility stands for being agile when deploying AI. And it's all about having access to the technology, having organization adaptability, having access to the right resource, and collaboration. We need to reframe this AI resource conversation in terms of an organization adaptability needs. It's really there's something that we like to say, that no company ever will have inside all the resources it needs to solve efficiently for AI. And generative AI showed us that, because we've been talking about AI agility for quite a while now. We are 5 years old organization, and since the beginning, we've been talking about how having scarce resources will get in front of the companies to efficiently solve and scale those technologies within the organizations. Okay, so how do we solve for those critical AI resources? Well, here at AI Collaborator, we really stand out for our startup network. We think that it's a big differential of us, but there are networks of AI solution providers, AI startups, and that can fulfill all the needs that the enterprises need. So you need networks of partners. You need access for AI talent, and you need to know use cases. Because also spending 5 years talking to a lot of enterprise customers, we discovered that solving for the use case is actually very hard sometimes. And even before that, identifying the correct use cases, and then finding for the resources is very important. So we have this preoccupation around to define
part of the deployment, where the user is getting in contact with the technology and how it's going to solve for the problem that we think that is also a problem. So it's a matter of network assessing to having access to correct AI talent, and also having a clear way of how to solve for use cases. So those three things are very important for you to have efficiency, piloting, experimentation, for you have to have the talent augmentation that you need, and to operationalize AI, and that's AI agility. AI agility, it's related to program governance, and AI innovation. It's about having the correct resources for engineering, for partner management, and also for deploying, for implementing. This is all connected. And if you don't solve for those efficiently, you won't have the final result that you're looking for, right? So to wrap up here right now, we really think that the benefits that AI agility delivered is faster iteration, deployment, access to diverse use cases, top AI talent, having single point of contracting, reducing the complexity of contracting. It's all about reducing the friction. The idea is to have a flexible, a faster, and a significantly cheaper AI resources to develop pilots and scale solutions within the organization. So enterprises need to be looking more for how to capitalize on the network power of hubs, of startup and AI provider hubs around the world. I know that Turkey has a very strong one, and how to explore how to better manage the relations with those hubs, with those networks, in order to harvest the really power of AI agility and really being successful in deploying AI agility throughout their organizations. So enterprises must be with their eyes open to this, because AI resources, data science, data engineering resources are very important right now. They are key resources for the future of every organization, and having multiple and effective way of accessing those resources without the needing of having them internalized, it's very important, as we know. So I'm going to open for some questions if you like. Still have some time here for us to do some if needed, but that was my presentation.
Thank you, Vinicius. There is no question for you, and thank you for your information and presentation.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.